Oh no, we haven't got the fuel to do an about turn. And we haven't got anything really to sell, so I don't know if you... Oh, there we go. What are you going to tell us? So it is all about the encounters. Ooh, what the hell are you? Jeez, I've not seen that before. How's it going, guys? John here from the Killer Bits, and get ready for a long journey home. Yes, I am checking out the new sci-fi inspired, I'd say it's kind of roguelite. There's a lot of different elements in this, but this is Daedalic Studio West's new sci-fi adventure, as you can see here, called The Long Journey Home. And I'm going to jump in more or less straight away. Quick look at the settings. There's plenty here to choose from. Everything's ramped up to epic. It's fairly unintensive on any system. It's quite, I wouldn't say basic graphics, but it's quite simple and it's not going to tax your system too much. But we will start a new jump mission, and I will explain as we go. So, as I said, this is quite kind of, well, I wouldn't say roguelike. It's definitely procedurally generated and quite immersive. You can kind of have these kind of emergent adventures depending on how you play it and what people you pick. So we've got to pick 4 members of our crew, and we can have people like Siobhan Harrington, who's the archaeologist, and everyone brings along their own personal artifact. So obviously she's bringing along a crystal skull. Yes, there's going to be lots of sci-fi and film and TV references in this game. We've got Malcolm Winters, who was the test pilot who helped create the project, and he brings along basic replating. Alessandro Lacovelli? I no idea. She's got a toolbox. Ash Malhotra is a botanist, and he brings along, well, it looks like Groot. Ash's pet plant, Gwendolyn. Benoit Verdier, theoretical physicist. He's kind of an asshole. I've played about 4 hours of this so far, you know, trying out various different kind of combinations of people, and my initial take on him is he's kind of an asshole. We've got Kristen, who is an astronaut with a bit of replating. Nikolai Lebdev is the researcher, one of the kind of title characters. Critter Repellent. Miriam Wagner, Distress Beacon. Simon Castillo, who is the corporate executive. I want to know, is he Burke from Wayland Yutani? But we'll find out. And Zoe Creed, who is a civilian observer. Yes, they've taken a blogger along with them. So, for this mission, I think we'll go with the test pilot. The lander repair is a good one to have. Let's take Groot with us. The astronaut is normally a good one. And mission planner? Yeah, why not? So there you go. That is our crew. And of course, there's no point having a crew unless you have a ship. And we get to choose which ship we take on the mission. So we can have the Ulysses, the Endurance, or the Discovery. So we've got 3 different ships, and you can see there they each have their own kind of stats. So that's kind of the starter class one. It's kind of quite average across the board. The Endurance is, well, as you can see there, a lot more fuel strength and a lot more hull strength and a lot more fuel, but limited jump range and limited maneuverability. Whereas the Discovery is the other way around. Next to no cargo space, no hull strength, but has a huge jump range and maneuverability. So I think we'll go with the kind of start class one, and we can actually alter the colours. I do like this. Let's go something gaudy and horrible. There we go. That looks like a toy. Yes, we'll go with that one. And we get to pick our lander as well, because part of this is not just the space adventure, it's actually going down onto planets in search of resources and also kind of picking up story mission type stuff. So we can have the Serenity that looks like, you know, an old Apollo moon lander. We've got the Pathfinder, which kind of more jet-like, and we have the Odyssey, which looks kind of industrial. It's a lot of hull strength on that one, but very limited cargo space. So I'm going to go with the Serenity, because again, that's kind of pretty average across the board. And we can pick our seed as well. And this... there we go. Mainly because I know that Farscape has been a major influence on the devs, and particularly the writer on this. The writer of this is a guy called Richard Cobbett. Most of the dev team is based over in Germany, but Richard is a UK-based writer. Written for kind of magazine sites like, you know, Rock Paper Shotgun, PC Gamer, things like that, but also a writer of games. He's obviously done this. He worked on Sunless Sea as well, which if you've played that, you know it's very roguelike, but it's got this kind of very deep story in it, and lots of kind of the events and that are very well written. So I'm expecting, as you get further into this game, that the story and the writing, it will certainly come through. And you can see, not just changing the ship changes their uniforms as well, which I kind of like. So here we go. We can choose our difficulty. We can go Explorer mode or Rogue mode. I'm guessing red means it's a lot harder, and I'm having trouble with Explorer mode as it is, so we'll just go easy mode, and we can start on Earth, which will teach us the basics, or we can just start after the jump. And as I've done several starts already, I think we'll just go straight after the jump, and I'll explain the different mechanics as we go. So here we go. Odyssey is blasting off into space. So it's typical kind of sci-fi nonsense storyline. We basically pick up a experimental faster than light drive, but something inevitably goes wrong. Look, we're being zapped across the galaxy. And the reason I said Farscape is because even in the very first trailer they did, there was hints there. You know, I think there was like a narration over going over the actual trailer. It's saying being hurtled across the other side of the galaxy. I need to get home. It was very much like the intro sequence to Farscape. So here we go. We've been flung many parsecs across the galaxy, and unlike what Star Wars would teach us, parsecs is not a unit of time. It is a unit of distance, and we can do some kind of orbiting of a planet. So initially, when you first boot up the game of fling yourself across the galaxy, you get flung into this debris field of this sphere here. And it's basically a big alien artifact, which we don't need to negotiate the too much of the debris field to actually get into it. But as you can see, yes, this game is kind of made up of lots of little, I'd say almost mini games. There's stuff like landing on the planets is a, you know, a test all unto itself. Negotiating these debris and asteroid fields is quite tricky. But as I said, when we first get hurtled across the galaxy, we come across this sphere straight away, and investigating inside, we get one of these, the Keystone, our souvenir from the sphere. Anyone mind if I use this as a nightlight? So everyone has their own kind of reactions to stuff, so I feel like a caveman looking at a supercomputer, or me looking at my TV remote. So everyone has their own reactions to different kind of storylines and things like that. Certain objects, this is obviously a key object because it's all whited out text, but stuff like this is a usable one. Obviously, in that blast across the galaxy, our pilot got a bit of a concussion. I'm going to hold off on healing that for the time being, but as you can see here, everyone can have up to 5 injuries. After that, they're dead. But we'll go through more of the menu type stuff in a minute. But we want to get out this debris field, so it's... Come on, turn your ship around. And we'll scooch our way out of the debris field and we can leave. And as I say, there's kind of lots of different elements to this game. It's not one overriding kind of mechanic or anything like that. It feels like it's made up of like a lot of little mini games. There's a lot of, you know, what's that? We're going to chase after that. There's a glowing question mark on it. Let's intercept. And there we go. We can intercept this ship and call them on the... Hailing frequencies open, sir. Come on. We'll get there eventually. Ooh. This is a new one. I've not seen a ship like this before. Yes, we'll hail them by pressing W. New race. Vine consensus message. Vine consensus avatar of bloom. Flowers bloom on the planet, opening and closing as a semaphore. Okay, right. Yes. Pauses for a moment with a branch and gestures towards the planet in this system. Okay, so we're making contact. So we've got our missions up here. The call of Yggdrasil. The living plant's ship seems to want us to follow it to a nearby planet. Safe haven, transmissions received, starport even, and gate locations added to map. So to leave these kind of encounter screens, we obviously, as you can see in the bottom right, have to thrust and right click to leave. So we press and hold them down. And this is actually how we jump the ship whilst we're in the solar system as well. So the controls are fairly simple. Right, which planet are we going to? The one that's highlighted. Okay, about face. So I am using keyboard and mouse for this. Well, essentially just mouse. Use keyboard for a few prompts, but it's mostly mouse driven. And we're going to head to this planet. You can see left click will thrust, which is kind of a gentle thrust, and then right click is a boost, which burns more fuel, but certainly gives us a bit of a kick. I'm just kind of conserve fuel a little until we get to the planet, and then we probably have to slow down. Yeah, that red is indicating we're going to crash. So let's see if we can slow down and get into orbit. Ooh, no. Ooh, yes. So this is where it all gets a little Kerbal Space Program, trying to get into a nice stable orbit. I've still not really got the hang of it. You can play on gamepad as well, which apparently is slightly easier for the kind of flight type stuff. There we go. As soon as we've got a green line, we can press spacebar and that will put us into a stable orbit. So now we're orbiting the planet of Janine, and this is a liquid planet with very high gravity. Oh god, that's going to be tough on the landing. Temperature, no convection, so it's not particularly windy, and resources available on this planet are sulfates and hydrogen. So minerals, green stuff, is what we use to power up our jump drive. So there's 3 different resources in the game. There's minerals, metals, and gas. Gas we can convert into fuel, and I can show you this all in the resource processing plant. So we can turn gases into fuel. We can turn solids, metals, into kind of repairing our ship, and then we use green minerals to process into our EM drive. And we'll tab out this. Right, okay, so this is probably the trickiest bit of the game, is the planet landings, especially when it's a high gravity planet. So as I said, I'm using keyboard and mouse, and it's basically we have to counteract the planet's gravity. So I'm just hitting boost as much as possible straight away, but we're still going to crash. Yes, there was no way of getting around that. So we're taking a big chunk of damage, but now we are in low orbit. We should be able to... This is going to burn a lot of fuel. We want to get up to that red thing on the mini-map below. Let's get over the top. I'm just blipping the thrusters. Oh, no! Okay, right. You can see we've taken damage. We can use our reverse thruster. I just wanted to right myself. Come on, right it. Right. Can we visit now? There we go. We can visit, as you can see in the bottom right. We've got options. So we're going to visit the plant people. What looked to be a city on the scan is actually a giant tree. Its roots stretching for miles. It snaps off one of its smaller branches with 2 twigs, 2 larger ones, and extends them to the lander. Ooh, we've been offered an Yggdrasil branch. Connect us with divine consensus. Yes, we'll take it. Divine consensus to be welcome to be a heart of Yggdrasil in a season of bloom, to request your assistance with guest, to have crash landed, to not have resources to return before season of thorn, to hand into your care, to return to people, to expect they will reward. So this is a Qudishast, emits a static charge when even outside the rubber encounter suit. No idea what it is, but we'll take it anyway. New race added. Okay, right, so we can actually talk to these guys now. So the kind of emergent stories is all done with the kind of alien races you encounter, and there's a very, very basic set of kind of cues. So we can ask them stuff like ask them about ourselves. We can ask for gossip, work, or our way home. So let's ask about self. To stretch across the domain, to be part of all living creatures. Vine flourishes in bloom, vine constricts in thorn. A season for both, a season for all. To persist until all stars are dark. To perhaps not be as long as predicted. So we have to interpret what different alien species obviously speak. I've never dealt with these kind of plant people. I've dealt with a couple of other plant-like creatures, but never that talk in this kind of way. We can talk about humans. We talk about the divine consensus. To be divine. Oh no, he's saying exactly the same thing. We can show him stuff. Oh, we could actually show him. Oh no, we can't show him. We can't show him Gwendolyn. We brought Gwendolyn along. Surely we could show him that, but no. Services. So some encounters will actually act as traders, and we can use merchant. Obviously, we've not picked up any minerals or anything like that. So we can't actually trade that yet. But we can possibly restock. Lander fuel, 50 units. Well, we haven't got any credits yet. Repairs. They'll repair the lander, but no. Hospital. Okay. So if we had credits, we'd get the plant people to heal him, which would have been handy on my last outing, because somehow I managed to pick up an infection and the entire crew were infected with some alien virus. So, yeah. Shop, no, we don't need to. We'll hang up and we'll go and explore the rest of the planet. But we've made contact with 2 new alien species, and at the moment I've done like 3 or 4 different starts, and each one I've literally come across new aliens each time. I don't think I've ever repeated, so I've no idea how many different aliens they've actually put in the game. Ooh, ow! You can see there in the bottom left the damage we're taking to the ship. Ooh, come on. I want to go across. I want to go and get those sulfates. Oh, no, okay. Flip the thing across. Let's just bunny hop away up. Go on. No! Right. Little bunny hops. No. Angle. So as I say, this is the trickiest bit. Now, can we drill? Yes, we can drill. So, as I said, landing on planets is like a mini game unto itself, and this is where you actually get resources. You lost respect. Oh, we lose respect by drilling near them. Okay, right, well, stuff it. We'll lose respect. We're going to dig up some sulfates. So there's obviously... I don't want to go too low on fuel. Can we get... There we go, we've got 2. Right. This is just an example of how it works. And now we're quite low on fuel, so... And I'm no way going to try and get the gas from that vent, because it's a pain to try and do. So we picked up some resources which we can take back to the ship. And one thing I have noticed, the more banged up your ship gets, the more it reflects in those kind of close-up shots. It does look quite banged up. So we can go back to the ship, and I can show you the rest of the kind of menus. So this is the comm. Obviously, you saw us talking to the aliens. We've got the database, which gives us our kind of missions. We can have a look at the logbook, which basically gives us all the information of our actual kind of, seed we're in, distance we are from Earth, what everyone's picked up and all that kind of thing. The aliens we've encountered in this particular journey. Locations, well, we've got something on the map to head for. And we can have a look at the galaxy map. There we go. Right, so there we go. We can see, well, this is obviously an area dominated by these plant people, because they have the jump gate over there, and they've got their own planet here as well. But we've basically got to make our way home. As the title implies, we have to make our long journey home. And this is where it's kind of like FTL. It's lots of little jumps between systems. Each system has its own encounters and things like that. So we've got a choice of these 2 planets within our jump range. That has twin stars, both a yellow dwarf and a white dwarf, it looks like. A couple of yellow dwarfs there, but that's got more planets to visit. So we'll probably jump to that one. And it's just hops across this sector, and then we need to get to a jump gate to get us to the next sector. So it's quite FTL in that fact. We're going to close this up, and we will go through the rest of the menus. Nope, let's go back to the ship. On the bridge, we can have a look at our ship. At the moment, the hull is pretty much 100%. Fuel tank, we're at 83%. Exotic matter tank, it's only got 3 pods in it, and obviously the next jump is going to burn one of those. Ship's engines are okay. Now, all these things can actually take damage, which will affect their efficiency. So if we, burn out one of the engines, we'll move slow and things like that. The lander is pretty banged up. It's at 50%, so we may need to do some repairs on that. And likewise, it can get banged up and lose stuff like, burns out the drill, which will mean it's harder to drill stuff and things like that. And the way we can actually turn our... Okay, the lander is pretty banged up, so we will use a couple of the copper we've got in storage. I might as well use all of them to actually do some running repairs on that. And then in the quarters, we can see the health of our crew. And this is clearly the person we picked up. So I've never seen anybody else in here, but I like the fact that... when you pick up stuff, so I got entered into a ugliest space pet contest, and I won second prize. And when the next time I came into the quarters, the award was hanging up on the wall. So there's little kind of emergent things like that in the game, which I really do like. But we can see the health of our crew here. As I said, Malcolm is suffering a concussion from that, initial jump across the galaxy we had. But everyone else's health is fine at the moment. Once again, if we get like 5 ailments, that's it. The person's gone. We've lost them completely. And then in the lab, we can actually use stuff. So the QD haste emits a static charge. I want to help if I can. Or we can... the astronaut can actually communicate with it. And what were you? You were the mission planner, weren't you? I can try and get some information from the alien. Let's have the mission planner try it. Alien wants to go home. I've updated our log with coordinates. There we go. So we've actually got a mission then now. Right, and the branch. That's basically our way of communicating. As you can see here, they've all got their own things to say about it, but they're all white. so we can't actually interact with it. Though there's stuff like distress beacon. We can broadcast, but I'm not going to. We can do repairs. Well, but we don't need to. Gwendolyn's growing so fast. I remember when she was just a bulb. Okay, right. So that is kind of managing the crew. So there's a lot of kind of management elements to this game, but it is all about exploring. A shorter journey home. Alien told us where it lives. So we can actually look on the map. No, it's not in this system then. Okay, right. So if we go back to the database, is it actually updated on there then? Where are we taking our new alien friend? It doesn't look like it's anywhere close. Okay, well, we'll probably find it eventually, but I think it's time to make the jump. Prepare coordinates, we're making the jump to hyperspeed. Let's close the map. And unless there's anything else in this system we can actually explore, I think we're just going to mosey on out. So wait for the opportune time to blast away from the orbit. And we will head to... Oh, actually, there's a mineral field, asteroid field, orbiting near the sun. So we'll actually head towards that, because that will be a good opportunity to show off what is the... I'd say the other kind of mini game in it is negotiating our way through the asteroid fields. That planet looks rather small. Maybe that would be... Did we go to that one? No, we just went from the space sphere thing, didn't we? So, one thing I do like is the way they actually give you visual cues on how difficult it's going to be to actually land. Obviously, the bigger the planet, the easier it is going to be to orbit, but it also means the greater the mass, which actually distorts the kind of square grid behind. You can see as we get closer to this, well, we'll get close to the sun. You can see how massive the sun is, and obviously how much it's distorting the space around it, the gravitational pull of it. Let's whip our way round, and I want to go and see that white planet on the opposite side to us. There we go. Rotate. I'm burning a lot of fuel to boost around the sun, I know, but this is just going to be like a short excursion. I'm not being as frugal with our resources as I should really be, but you can just about see in a second the kind of texture map behind will start to distort for that planet. So it's like a little dip. So it's a relatively small planet, so it's making less of a dip in the sphere, the square grid. So it should mean it's a relatively low gravity planet if we can get it to an orbit. Let's slow down. And we want to come in fairly slow. You can see our speed on the left hand side of the screen. Right, we should be getting into the planet's orbit now. Let's slow down a little more. There we go. And we can hit the green button. There we go. And we're into orbit of Maddenberg. And this is harmless planet, rock surface, average gravity, and it's got phosphates, aluminium and hydrogen. Well, let's put somebody else in the pilot seat. So Malcolm's currently piloting. Let's put Kristen in the lander's pilot seat and send her down to the surface. Let's see if we can dig up some metals and do some repairs to the lander. So we're coming in hot again, but because it's slightly lower gravity, we should be able to avoid crashing horribly. And I want to aim for that kind of silver triangle, because that is going to be metal deposits. Okay, right, we can tilt our way and head in this direction. So still after, 4 or so hours, I'm just about getting there with piloting the lander. Saying that on my last go round. Oh, she's broken her arm. That we're going to use the what is it, first aid kit on. So we'll dig up some aluminium, because we're going to need this to do some running repairs. AC coolant level low, so we've got wear and tear on the... Come on, can we get at least 2? There we go. Right, okay, we'll leave it as that. I don't want to take too much more damage, but then again, 1 more. I'm going to get greedy. We should have the fuel for it. I think we only need like 20% tank to actually leave orbit, unless it's really high gravity planet. Come on, let's... little bit more. Can we get the aluminium? Come on. It's getting close. No, right, okay. Well, we got greedy. Let's just blast out of here. Fuel warning seat. We should be able to make it. There we go. Past the line. Dock back with the Ulysses. I wonder whether in the final game, which is out next week, it's out on the 30th, we'll actually be able to kind of rename the ship. Probably not. I think all the ships have the specific designation, isn't it? So let's head for that asteroid belt, and you can see how the combat kind of works, because as of yet I've not done any ship-to-ship combat, but I have used the weapon system in the asteroid belts, because this is how you can actually mine certain ores from asteroids. So you can see on the kind of HUD type thing 2 little white arrows. That is indicating where there are mineral deposits. So we need to go and find one of those. So in essence, this is not so much like a big epic sci-fi blast 'em up type game. It's more of a management sim more than anything. There's certainly elements of something like FTL of, you know, exploring to get resources, but carefully managing that against, you know, the risk reward of, you know, going down to a planet will net you something, hopefully, but if it's a difficult planet like a molten surface planet or high gravity planet, that's maybe going to cost you more than what you get out of it. And obviously this is a resource. Oh no, don't want to crash into it. Now if we hit Q and pressing hold Q, actually engage the weapon systems, and you can see all the missiles are loaded up. Go on. There we go, and we've blasted that asteroid. We found 1 silicate. We might as well turn that off because we don't really need it other than to blast away. And we're going to find the other thing, which is in this direction somewhere. So at the moment, I found negotiating the asteroid fields the easiest part of the game. Obviously, there is a certain amount of, you know, precision to it, but if you just do small little taps, you can normally negotiate your way through without any issues. It's just escaping it that's the problem. Okay, we can turn that off, because the shield doesn't do anything for collisions. It does make a point of that. And we picked up some iron, and there'll be another iron. Go on. I just want to skim the surface. There we go, right. And hopefully this is fairly close to the edge, because to leave we are going to have to engage the jump drive. Oh no, crap. That was horrible. I've never seen an asteroid move that quick before. We look like we're fairly clear. Yeah, we're right on the edge. Oh no, 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 no. Oh, that was close. If we hadn't have jumped at that last second, we would have crashed straight into it. So now we need to make the jump to the next solar system, and to do that we just literally press and hold both mouse buttons, and that warms up the jump drive, and we're out of here. So my initial impressions are I can see myself sinking a lot of time into this. It is one of those big time sink type games. It's not something you can, you know, just duck in and out of. Thankfully, unlike other roguelites, there is a save system. So you can essentially duck in and out, but it's going to be one... In order to kind of get a significant distance, you're going to have to plow a lot of time into it, and it looks like we're going to make an encounter. It's... You can just about see on the mini-map that white D heading towards the sun. We're going to go and try and encounter it. Let's see. Obviously, I want to stay away from too much of the pull of the sun. But it's a relatively small sun, so we should be alright. Ooh, don't crash into any planets. Admittedly, if you do get too close to a planet, you don't actually crash, you skim the surface and it causes damage to your ship. Come back here! Oh god, we're really low on fuel. Okay, I didn't realise we were that low. Okay. Well, we will... Oh no, oh crap. No, radiation warnings! There we go. So that kind of is what happens with, you know, if you get too close to a planet. You will skim the surface and you'll take damage. We're going to aim for this blue planet up here. There seems to be a ship or something orbiting it. Maybe we can make contact. We'll slow ourselves down. We want to get into orbit, so we need to go this way a little. Oh, it's a green planet. Right, I want to slow myself down. Can we reverse course? There we go, Q. And who are you? So, who are we encountering this time? Now that looks fairly familiar. Let's answer. Yes, I've seen these guys before. The Mizurni Friendship. Now, they're offering an EM drive. Well, we'll take it, because we don't want to offend them. But this is how I got infected last time. As you can see, it looks kind of quite beaten up and that. But yeah, this is how I got an alien plague. So next store we find, I'm probably going to sell that. We've got 2 more jumps available to us. So we can talk to them. We can praise them. They like being friends, so let's praise them. Humans' best Muzurani friends ever. So we're now friends with them, and we can actually see that if we go into our database. We can actually see our kind of relationship with different alien creatures. So the Cutie House, we're petitioners. Vine Consensus, we're root. These guys, we're friends of. But now we need to leave. We need to find somewhere we can actually refuel, because we have got some hydrogen in the stores, but that is not going to be enough. So yeah, I think we just blast our way out of here. There we go. And we didn't get to encounter whatever that ship was going back and forth. Some are refused to answer. Oh, that's right on the edge of our thing. Maybe we can jump from that one to that one. We could really do with one with a station. Okay, let's go there. Spectrograph has malfunctioned. So I presume that's going to... the Yggdrasil branch has withered. Oh no! So does that mean we can no longer talk to the plant people? Okay. And there seems to be a lot of ships orbiting here. So we do need to use some of our hydrogen in stores to actually fuel this. But like I said, there's next to no improvement. We're going to use the iron we picked up to fix that. And we'll use all of that to almost get up to full on the EM drive. Oh, they followed us. No, I don't want to talk to you anymore. I want to jump to the next system to see if we can actually, if the root people have actually got a base here. There's a gas giant. Oh, it's growing thorns. Oh no, that's evidently a bad thing. Right, we'll head up here, and I'll start wrapping up. Oh no. Oh, let's intercept then. Go on. Who are you? What do you want? Now, again, this is a different ship design. I've not seen this one before. Let's answer their hail. All-knowing... what? No. Oh, no, I have seen these before. These are the ones that are convinced that we're working for some evil alien overlords. Answer me. I see your real face. No. No. But, I am no fool. No. Yeah, we're just going to keep saying no. Until they offer us a pamphlet, and then we'll take it, and then they'll be convinced we're not evil. There we go. You accept, then you cannot be the tool of the oppressors. Otherwise, you would know all of its secrets and not have no interest. But if you do not, you accepted it. Then you must be, unless. But wait, no. So yes, he gets very easily confused. But he's got nothing to offer. We could praise him, we could talk, ask something, talk about those. Have you ever seen a Ulysses outside its suit? They say they might be angels. Oh, right, so we're making references to Babylon 5 now. Okay, right, we're going to hang up with you. Remain vigilant. Okay, and we're going to leave. We need to find somewhere with fuel. Oh no, 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 crash! No, 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 no. Don't want to crash into the planet. That's a big planet as well, so it's going to be... Yeah. Gravity extreme! It's a molten planet, it's got infernos and convection. Yeah, we're not going to even attempt to land on that because, yeah, all kinds of damage is going to happen. Because I don't think there's anything we can actually do. No, we can tab out of that. Yeah, we're going to leave, and I want to see if there's any way of getting to a starbase and actually do some repairs, or get the cutie hast to his safe haven. Can we get up here? We're not going to get there. That is obviously the jump gate to the next point in space. Let's just go here. Hopefully we can find something, and I'll start wrapping up the video. So my initial impressions are, as I said, you will probably be able to, you know, when I get this hydroponic way working, we will be free of the terror of protein mash forever. So we've got Matt Damon there trying to grow potatoes for us. Oh. Can we talk to you? Come back here. Oh no, we haven't got the fuel to do an about turn. And we haven't got anything really to sell, so I don't know if you... Oh, there we go. What are you going to tell us? So it is all about the encounters. Ooh, what the hell are you? Jeez, I've not seen that before. Yes, we're going to answer the call. New race added to the base. The Logos. Law of the Logos. Lost children of the stars. We Logos seek your assistance. Many of the young races come seeking our advice and arbitration. In the interest of fairness, it is our custom to invite neutral parties to cast their vote. Are you willing to play a part? Yes, we'll accept. Acquired Logos case file. This case, the trade captain Moya accuses the Cutihas nation of raiding his mining world in search of lost relics. In response, a representative from the cult declares Amliok sold them mining rights, only to withdraw the offer upon realizing said document has not surfaced. Decide. We'll use this. Gonna call guilty on this one. Alright, so it's 3 to 1. Which way shall we go? We'll go with the planner. Not guilty. Go to com. Okay. You have voted for leniency, and leniency shall be had. Let the accused future acts be upon your heads. Okay, so you gained our respect. Okay, so I want to go back to the database to actually see. So, lost children, pilgrims. So we gained respect from QDS. I did see that. I know you're not selling anything. Okay, well, we're going to hang up with you. Oh, and we got 200 credits. Oh, okay, so we can actually make a jump then. And probably actually get some fuel. This may actually be beneficial. Right, we'll leave here. I don't want to blast into the same direction they're headed. Let's see if we can make it to the jump gate, and I'll wrap up the video there. Right. Let's blast our way out of here. Cannot jump, no exotic material left. Ah, no, okay. Alright, then we will have to... Oh, come on. Warning. Return or jump. Yes, I will jump as soon as I've... We're right on the edge of the galaxy. Did we explode? Oh no! I've never had that happen before. Well... That is an appropriate place to end then. I didn't have enough fuel to turn around quick enough. So we had a failure. So that's a new one for me. If you go too far outside the edge of the solar system, that's it, you're dead. But yeah, this has been a quick look at the long journey home. Quick as in, 45 minutes or so. There's nothing quick about this. The clue is in the title. This is a long journey, and hopefully you guys will look to enjoy it. As I said, it comes out next week on the 30th, and I may actually be covering more of this when I actually get a full version of the game. But if you want to check that out, obviously hit that subscribe button. You'll be able to see all the future first impressions we do here on the channel, any kind of co-op stuff or let's plays. And if you like the video, obviously hit that like button. It does help us out, as does getting in touch in the comments below, or you can reach me on any of the social medias over at the Killer Bits. Alright, until next time guys, bye!